Virgo, this is your week ahead tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. Okay. It is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Please, guys, take this where it resonates. It is an energy reading. So it comes to you at exactly the... Okay, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming out. You take it exactly the way that it resonates for you. There's so many, there's hundreds of videos on this channel, so please peruse. Whatever calls to you is a message for you. Doesn't matter when it's from. It arrives to you when you're supposed to hear the message. So, if you're looking for personal readings, I do those. Go to my website, www.bornwithoutboundariestarot.com. I think you can actually, there's plenty of room next week if you're looking for a personal reading. Book whenever's right for you. The one card that comes out face up is this one. And that's why I was like, oh, okay. This is magical. It's also powerful. It's finding the light in the dark and bringing the light out of the dark, which is almost like Prometheus with fire that he brings from the gods. There is that beautiful power of something all of a sudden becomes clear that was foggy, murky, or inaccessible. And that's what we call magic, when something seems to appear out of nowhere. But now something is going to appear out of nowhere. And with Crow, it usually is information or brilliance, like an idea, because crows are very bright birds. They're very bright, they're very social, but they're also very, very much connected to the world of magic. Well, magic is really just manifestation on super speed. That's all it is. It's something seems to instantaneously appear. But the truth is nothing instantaneously appears. And it's almost like the tip of the iceberg and you miss the rest of the iceberg. But this is what it's saying is this is when it appears. This is when suddenly it occurs or happens or you can consciously become aware of it. And so it feels like magic. But you, my friends, already have a relationship with this energy. You have felt it, not emotionally, you have vibrationally, it has been there. Something has been beneath the surface. This is when the clarity of it comes to you. So I don't know what it is. Could be a romance, could be an idea, could be information that you need to smack a bitch. I don't know, but it is definitely, finally, tangibly there. Okay. Spirit has a plan. You're doing a lot of God work this week. There is a lot of sense of faith, connectivity. And that means, yes, for a long time, this has been a point of faith. Seeing, how far your faith can take you before you go crazy because you don't have the answer or you don't have it in your hands. But ultimately, faith pays off this week. Co-create with Spirit. Spirit has a plan. Co-create with Spirit. That means you needed to be connected to Spirit, or Spirit needed to know that you were connected to God, to the universe, before it provided you this information. So this is also probably associated with a lot of trials and tribulations that you've been going through. That's how Spirit do. Take time out is in reverse. So ultimately what this is saying is, no, now it's time to work. And I know somehow listen, now it's time to get to it. No more time for a break. You're not on your rest period anymore. I know it's still retrograde season, so this is probably concept, right? But it's time to start going. It's time to get things going. Take time out, no more. This is also saying that you will feel vulnerable, super exposed, part and parcel to this process. That means that this is going to take a lot of courage to reveal, to hold, to grasp, to realize. We have surrender now. This is in reverse, dude. This is like, I will not give up. So this has to do with something that you have had a lot of tenacity toward. You haven't given up on it. Surrender now. This is a sense of no. No. And there's also a beautiful implication of, even though something is coming into the light, you're not flying right into it, which tells me that you're aware. Like there's something that's going to be realized, but you're aware that, stay away. So that it's not necessarily a red flag. It could be just you were somehow on some level aware of it, and now it's confirmed, right? Maybe now everybody else can see it. Open to infinite possibilities in reverse too. This is all like, oh no, you're shutting something down. You're shutting something down. Okay, here's the message that's coming through. Because it feels like a toppling. I'll show you. It feels like, bam, this truth comes out, and then everything else topples. This is a change in what you desire. This is a change in what attracts you. This is this is a change in direction. Because this clarity or this manifestation really realigns you to your God space, because it makes you realize everything I was pushing for, I wasn't right. Thank God that I didn't get as far as I wanted to get, because clearly I didn't know the whole story. And now I still have the opportunity to hold on to it, to grasp it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like pushing and pushing and pushing to catch that bus, and you're, like everything's being thrown into the air. I gotta get it, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. And it's like you get to the bus station and you miss the fucking bus, and your bus, and you're pissed and you're angry. And then it's that bus that like gets in an accident or something. It's almost like that. There's that sense of you were pushing and like wanting something, desiring something, but there was always something that was out of the way, out of reach. Now you get to hold the information as to why it was constantly out of reach, and honestly, you get to hold what you really were meant for. And it's almost like, oh my God, wow. And it does feel like magic. And in a way it is, because it is divine intervention. Remember, Virgo, there's always an extended reading. The links are down below, and I welcome you to join me for it. The Tower. So yeah, something comes to a crash halt. And a surprise, a major change that you've got no control over. And it's like, God has that omniscient perspective. It knew the change was going to come, which is why it was trying to protect you. We have the Tower and we have the Star. This Tower is going to bring about everything you have been trying to manifest and wish for. You just didn't know the correct process. And as a Virgo, stubbornly, you probably thought, absolutely, I am the correct process. It wasn't. And that's why everything collapsed. And here it is. Here it is. It's like you didn't give up. You kept on striving, but it was the wrong direction or wrong process. Something has to fall apart for what you really wished for to A, change, and B, be realized. Now, this could also be a good tower, which means all of a sudden, out of the blue, this freaking major wish or manifestation comes through for you. And like I said in the beginning, for those of you who are experiencing that, it's really not out of the blue. It just felt like forever. And maybe in some way, I don't think you'd forgotten about it. But it's almost like you've gotten so used to the hard work of it, you forgot about the receiving of it. What is this Tower? What is this Tower? What happens with this Tower, please? What happens? A judgment is made. We have the Judgment card. So some decision is made and you are selected. Or you now have the ability to know exactly what God wants for you. So you now see clearly so you can make the right judgment. That's what it is, guys. It is information that clarifies and helps to point you in the right direction, or somebody is pointed to the right to you because clarity has happened. We got to pull a moon card. You know why? On September 14th, there's a new moon in Virgo. If you're born toward the end of Virgo season especially, this is going to conjunct your natal sun. And it is absolutely the most powerful time to plant a seed for the future, to plant something, the newness, the change you want to welcome in your life. This is a new moon that is, my dog's kicking the wall, that is trine to Uranus and trine to Pluto, while Uranus and Pluto are trying to each other. So that means it is a grand trine new moon. There is an easiness here for something to manifest. This is a beautiful tool to use, guys, because it's almost going to be like whatever you manifest will come to you and grow almost immediately. A lot of power here, a lot of strength. So let's get into the moon cards. What do you need to release? And emotions are running high. So there's definitely some stuff that you have to get off your chest. But the reason why the pressure is building, Virgo, is because you need to make way for the new thing that's about to pop into your life. All of this extra gunk could only get in the way. It's like cleaning out the garage to fit your new car in there. If all you've been doing is using it as storage for stuff that you should have gotten rid of, you've got no room for that new car. Once you get rid of it, that signifies to the universe, it's like it signals, they're ready now. Because it's not going to give you that new car, this is all metaphor, that new car when you got no place to take care of it, right? You got to get the gunk out. And that's why something has been building and building and building. What do you need to release? Because there's been tension here, especially since the last supermoon. And it says it. So the supermoon was on the 31st of August. It was in Pisces, directly opposite you. And something's been building. It's got to pop off, be released to make room, and maybe even make fertilizer for this exceptional, beautiful opportunity that is now capable and able to grow. Nothing is yet set in stone, so you haven't made decisions yet, and adjustments are required. It will challenge your ability to, so it's gonna ask you to change. But what it's saying is, in terms of the future, it was in flux anyway. Adjustments are required. Nothing is yet set in stone, and adjustments are required. What do you mean? Because this is going to change the game for you. In such a way that maybe other things are going to have to change to make room for it or shift around it. And then you will be very happy, because it was probably driving you crazy that you had some sort of plans that you couldn't nail down, that you couldn't figure out, right? But now you're going to realize why. Because this comes in and you're like, okay, I would have had to change them anyway. That's why I was having so much trouble making those arrangements or making those preparations or making that decision. Because when this hits, you're going to understand why you would have had to change everything. It would have been even harder to change. So that's why, and you also take away this lesson, Virgo, that says maybe that's why planning that far ahead isn't the best frickin' idea. Because there's other stuff that I will want to allow and make accommodation for. that I won't, I'm not planning for the variables that might come in. You know, you got to always leave that X factor. And this is an X factor. It happens to be a beautiful X, right? So we don't mind adjusting, but there is that sense of leaving room for Spirit's voice in your composition. Let's go to the extended. I will see you guys there.